Hi there, it's Mini Misir here from Brampton, Ontario. How are you guys this morning? So, I wanted to do my Monday morning update with you, and today we have a special guest from BMO. Let me know if you are hearing me. Let me just do it here. Just a few housekeeping. Can you hear me? All right, excellent. Thank you. So we have a special guest with us today, who I will add shortly to the screen for you to see, and it's he'll introduce himself. But before we go ahead, I wanted to take a quick moment to share with you a market update that I usually do. So we will start with live. It'll be just about 3 minutes or so. And we're going to start with the region of Peel. So today's market update is for the region of Peel. And as a reminder, the region of Peel, we've got three cities. That's Brampton, Mississauga, and Caledon. So we're going to go start with right now Brampton. And I'm going to do this right now. So let's give me one moment. All right. So in Brampton, and this stats was taken from last night for today's market update. So in Brampton, right now, we have a total number of active listings, 400 listings that is active on the market as we speak as of last night. And this would be listings that are of all types and category. So high rises, condominium, low rise condominium, freehold, detached, freehold, semi-detached, townhouses. So across the board, all different property types. We've got a total of 400 listings on the market. On the market. That's the active inventory. And sold so far for the month, as of last night, 520 properties sold so far. Sold for the year, up until last night, 9,615 properties have sold in Brampton. Now we're looking at the average market price right now for the month at 864,000. So rounding that up at 864,000. We're going to go and take a quick look at Mississauga and see what's going on in Mississauga with inventory and sold data. So far in Mississauga, inventory is 880 properties currently on the market under all different property styles. Sold so far for the month, 471 properties sold so far for the month of December, and sold so far for the year, 8,524 properties sold for the year. In Mississauga, we're looking at an average market price at around 897,000. And our last city in the region of Peel, we're going to look at Caledon. And we have seen in Caledon inventory being very, very limited in Caledon. We're looking at active listings, just merely 86 active properties on the market in Caledon. Sold so far for the month, 57. Sold so far for the year, 1,240. And the average market price, a whopping 1.337. So just over a million, 1.3 million and 37,000. So that's what we're looking at, our quick summary of market updates in across three cities in the region of Peel. So we're going to bring Mark Binlish now. He's from BMO, and Mark is going to give a quick introduction of himself. Hi, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi Minnie, how are you?
Good, good. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, good. How are you doing? How was your
Not bad. Not bad. Thank
weekend?
you.
Mark, first of all, I want to thank you for your time and taking the opportunity in doing this live update with us this morning. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Minnie. Thanks for the opportunity and hello to your viewers.
So go ahead, tell us a little bit about you, how long you've been in the industry, and
Okay, so Minnie, like you know, I have been a mortgage specialist for over 10 years. Recently, I am with BMO right now, BMO Bank of Montreal, and today I think we're going to talk about the first-time home buyers.
excellent. So what can you tell us about first-time home buyers? What are some of the good things you can share with them to plan for 2021?
Well, first-time home buyers, like you know already, home or like a real estate or a house is the biggest asset that anyone or most of us will buy in our lives. And within Canada, I believe that houses are the best assets that anyone can purchase. Now, first-time home buyers, of course, there are a lot of let's say specials or things that they can take advantages of. They can buy with minimum down payment. They can get first time home buyers rebate up to $4,000 in Ontario towards the land transfer tax, and if they're buying in Toronto, it's slightly more than that, right? So there are a lot of advantages to get into the market. And of course, as you know, real estate market is on fire. So the houses are greatly appreciating in value, and people can take advantage of really low rates at this point.
Yes, thanks, Mark. So, you've just touched on the first-time home buyers tax rebate inside and outside of Toronto, and it's approximately, like you said, around $4,000 or so, depending on location. Um, so, one quick question in terms, and you're with BMO right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing in terms of, qualifying a first-time home buyer? So, I'm a first-time home buyer, and I want to achieve my goal in 2021. What are some of the things that you can advise a first time home buyer, in terms of minimum down payment? Yes, it's not set in stone, but an average, could we buy something if we have around $40,000 or so? Is it 5% down? Could you get them qualify for a mortgage with about 5% down?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, Minnie. So first-time home buyers can buy their principal residence with as low as 5% down payment. So let's say if somebody's buying a house worth of $500,000, so the minimum down payment needed is only $25,000. Now, of course, you have your closing costs on top of that, right? But the down payment is only $25,000 or 5% of the purchase price. So this is probably one of the greatest benefits that we have in Canada, that you can buy a house with as little money as 5% of the purchase price, right? And you build a very solid asset. I mean, real estate market as a whole is has been going up for the last, I think, 20 odd years or so, and the prices have consistently been going up, and people can take advantages of that. There are great advantages of buying a home, right? Which people can take advantage of even later on.
Yes. So, I mean, that's good to know. So, just to put things into a little bit of perspective, or just to re-highlight what Mark is saying. So, we can buy a home here in Canada, and where we're sitting in Ontario, we're in Brampton location right now, but we do work across the GTA and even further out. So, if you've got a mortgage, Mark, could you do a mortgage outside of the GTA?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I can do mortgages throughout Canada from coast to coast.
From Canada. So there you go. If you're looking to, as a first-time home buyer, and you're even, moving outside of the GTA, Mark is still able to do your mortgage. And just to touch up on that 5%, to reiterate, so 5% down. So let's say, for example, you're looking to purchase a property for $500,000. That will be $25,000. If you, another thing that you need to take into consideration, their closing costs involved when you're purchasing a home. So there are some expenses, some land transfer tax and things like that. We'll do another live to touch up in depth of what are the other costs other than your down payment when you're looking to purchase a home. But for 2021, guys, if you are a first time home buyer, there are lots of packages that you can take advantage of. And most importantly, the interest rates are so low, and with as little as 5% down, I mean, $25,000 on a 500,000 purchase, you can purchase your own home. We know that property prices, like Mark said, is skyrocketing in the GTA. They're growing really, really fast. And but there are condos as well that you can get into. If you're a first time home buyer and you have $25,000 in the bank and you're like, okay, is that money going to grow? Should I save up more? Maybe you could look at an alternative and say, well, I'm going to do a condo perhaps. There are a lot of condos that are available below the 500,000 price point, just an entry level to get your foot up, get your feet in the market, let that asset grow, and then you can move to another property. So as little as $25,000 or 5% down, you are able to achieve your first home in 2021, which is in a few days from now. Good. And another great question that I wanted to ask, and when we were looking at interest rate being so low, but what does that really look like? What are some of the rates? It doesn't have to be set in stone. We know the rates are depending on your customer profile, their credit score, things like that. But as an example, how low of a rate you're seeing out there on the market. And we can
So
put some numbers for them in terms of, hey, well, with 5% down, let's say you're looking like an A plus client, your monthly payment is going to be, with this, we're looking at, an approximation of a very low
sure,
monthly payment.
sure. So absolutely, like I mentioned, the rates are really low right now. The average 5-year fix that we are offering in BMO Bank of Montreal is around 1.4, and 5-year variable can be as little as 1.39 at this point.
Wow, that is some really, really low rates that we're seeing. We've never seen that low of a rate in the market, at least in my career. And I've been in the industry for just over a decade. So 1.4 and 1.35, some pretty low rates. Mark, what are some of the things that you think would be beneficial to advise a first-time home buyer? What I am looking at, for you guys who are first-time home buyer out there, one of the most important, maybe make it your New Year's resolution, but make the call before, is to do a consultation. A consultation is so important so that you can plan. So what a consultation look like is that you'll meet with myself for the real estate portion of it. And if you're looking for the mortgage, we could hook you up with Mark to say, hey, in 2021, these are the things that you would need to do a checklist based on your profile, based on how much money you have, based on your family. Is it a mom and dad and 2 kids? Is it just a mom and dad? Is it a single person, right? So, based on that, you need to do a consultation so that you know exactly what steps, what you need to do, what date you need to do them by to achieve your home ownership goal for 2021. What are some of the things, Mark, you would advise for a first time home buyer other than the awesome consultation that we would push them to have?
See, absolutely. So there are a few things that a first-time home buyer should be looking to do when they're purchasing a home because it's the biggest purchase that they're going to make in their lives. So first thing first is get a team of good professionals around you to help you with the transaction. Professionals for real estate, for mortgages, and a good lawyer as well who will be doing the closing for the transaction. Now, as far as real estate is concerned, I'm sure Minnie is there to help all of you. She's the best in the business. For mortgages, you should get a pre approval. It is very essential to have a pre approval for a mortgage. And what that will do is that will give you a price range that you can purchase into, that will give you an idea based on your income and your credit. It will also lock in the rate for you for a good time period. With BMO, we have the industry leading period to lock the rates. Once you get a pre approval from us, it is for 130 days, which is almost 4.5 months. And then, other than that, once the clients have pre-approval, you can second me on this. They can shop with more confidence because their financing is in place, and you can negotiate better for them since you know that the financing is already there. Because what we are seeing in the market right now with so much competition, that sellers are accepting offers from people who have their financing in place already, even though there might be offers which might be higher than yours. But if you have an offer with no financing condition, they can get better value uh, for their real estate purchase.
So what I'm hearing there, guys, it is, to better equip yourself in the negotiation process. It is crucial that you get a pre-approval, know what your numbers are, and know how much you qualify for because of the low inventory with the market stats update that I just did at the beginning of this live is, there's a lot of buyers. So what that means is that there are more buyers and seller than seller and with the low inventory. And so there's a lot of multiple offers. So more than one buyers that want to purchase the same house. Now, what Mark is saying is that if you're able, equip yourself with your pre-approval, you know your number, it will give you the confidence to say, hey, Mr. Seller, this is my price. I don't need you to wait 5 days for me to come back and say my mortgage is all good, because I've already done my homework and it is done. The pre-approval is here. So you stand a higher chance of getting that property because you're equipped. In terms of circling yourself with what Mark said, with the right team. So with my team, if you're, using, I'd say interview more than one realtor for sure. And for sure, interview me. If you are in the GTA or outside, let's do an interview consultation with myself. It will be the best consultation that you would have had as a first time home buyer. I've got an entire circle. I've got lenders, lawyers, home inspector, renovators, everything under one roof. So you don't have to hassle and, what are my next step? Who do I get? But for sure, if you know people that are professionals that could help you with your transaction, then great. We'll be happy to use who you have as well. Anything else you'd like to share, Mark? I know we wanted to keep this under 15 minutes or so, pretty brief for our first live with a mortgage specialist. So thank you for
Yeah,
doing this.
no problem, no problem. And thank you for the opportunity. But before we leave, one major aspect that I want to point out to people is that if you are renting right now, please do look at the aspect of purchasing your own home, because as a tenant, most of you already know that you're paying someone else's mortgage. So if you are a tenant and if you're renting a place, if you have as little as 5% worth of down payment towards your purchase price, you should be looking to purchase a home, and we can definitely assist you with that. And you will thank us a lot in the
Later
next four or
on.
5 years when you'll see that the houses, how they go up in value.
Excellent. Yes, and I would second that as well. I mean, if you are renting right now, you might not necessarily have that 5% down payment, but there are also alternative way that can happen. There is a different source. You might have RSP, and those things we will touch with your consultation. We can't do all of it in this particular live, but even if you don't have down payment, get your consultation done. Know what you need to get so that we can advise you to say, hey, this is how you can get this. This is when you should get it by, in order to purchase by either March, either July, September, whatever that date timeline works out for your particular plan and structure. So for renters out there, calling on the renters, when you're renting, you're only putting your money to paying the landlord mortgage, but that money could go towards your own home for you or your family. So thank you for pointing that out, Mark. That's really, really important, and that's a really good thing to do for New Year. For you and your family, make it your New Year resolutions if you're renting right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, Mark, I want to thank you again for taking the time to make this possible. This is my first live interview with someone else. So, thank you. And
Thank you,
it's
Minnie.
you've done pretty well. Thank you for answering all the questions. Do appreciate it. So, Mark has committed. Maybe I did hold a gun to his head, to say we're gonna do this every month. So we've scheduled to do this up until the next 3 months so far. We've kind of calendar it in. So we're going to be doing this on Mondays at the same time. Mark is going to be joining us again in about 3 weeks from now, or the fourth week from now, for the next market update. And in that particular market update, we're going to talk about, I believe, investors, how you can do mortgages for investors, to own more than one property under your portfolio. So one of the big things that I do with my clients, I've got quite a building, quite a bit of investor, not to just only own one property, but to own more than one property. And how do you plan to do that with using equity in your home, or just for every client, it's going to be different. So join us again. I will send out communication and when that live is coming. So if you're planning to be an investor, you just have one property now, or you don't have any right now, and but your goal is to be an investor at some point, you'd want to join us and watching that live. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's Mini Misir here from Brampton, Ontario. I will talk to you soon again. Take care and bye-bye for now.
Thank
Mark,
you. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.